Rising quietly above the neighborhoods of Simi Valley, Mount McCoy stands as both a landmark and a living canvas. Locals know it simply as the Cross Hike, named for the white cross that crowns its summit, watching over the valley below. But to those who walk it often, it becomes something more, a rhythm, a ritual, a place where time slows, a place where your body, mind, and soul unwind, reconnect, and remember what it feels like to simply be. I've walked this trail too, sometimes 3 times a week, and no 2 hikes are ever the same. Some mornings begin in darkness, boots crunching softly along the trail as the world waits in silence. Then slowly, almost reverently, the sun begins to rise, spilling gold across the hills, igniting the sky in colors that never quite repeat themselves. The valley below stirs awake, but up here it feels like you've beaten the day to its first breath. Evenings tell a different story. The sun dips low, painting the landscape in deep amber and violet. Shadows stretch long across the ridge lines, and the air cools just enough to carry the scent of sage and earth. And then, just when you think the show is over, the moon begins its quiet ascent, or its soft fading goodbye. But this trail isn't just about light. It's alive. Beneath your feet and just beyond your gaze, the hillside moves with hidden life. A sudden rattle reminds you to stay present. A coiled guardian of the trail, the rattlesnake, blending perfectly into the dust and stone. Elsewhere, the delicate flash of a ringneck snake slips silently through the brush. And if you're lucky, or perhaps unlucky depending on your perspective, you might cross paths with a slow, deliberate tarantula making its ancient journey across the trail. Spring transforms the mountain entirely. Wildflowers erupt in color. Yellows, purples, and whites scattered across the hills like nature's confetti. Purple sage perfumes the air, and the entire landscape feels alive with renewal. And then there's the sky, with the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library just nearby. The airspace above becomes its own kind of theater, military aircraft carved through the silence, vast, powerful, and fleeting, reminders of a different kind of presence watching over these hills. But the most unforgettable moments belong to the wild. A shadow passes overhead. You look up. A golden eagle, majestic, commanding, riding the thermals with effortless grace. And then, out of nowhere, a red-tailed hawk rises to challenge it, dive-bombing with fearless intensity, a mid-air duel, raw, unscripted, and over in seconds. Closer to home, a familiar centennial patrols the hillside, the red-shouldered hawk, watching, waiting, ever alert. Moments like these, you don't plan for them, you earn them, one hike at a time. Mount McCoy itself carries its own quiet history, once part of the vast ranch lands that shaped early Ventura County. The hill has long stood as a point of orientation, first for ranchers and travelers, and now for a growing community that still looks to it as something consistent in a changing world. And that cross at the summit, it's more than a landmark. It's a gathering point, a symbol, a place where people come to reflect, to remember, or simply to take in the view and breathe. Because that's what this trail gives you, not just exercise, not just scenery, but perspective. Each step up the mountain strips away a little bit of the noise. Each sunrise, each encounter, each quiet moment at the top adds something back. And somewhere along the way, without even realizing it, this hike stops being just a trail and becomes a part of who you are.